What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I'm Sean.
And I'm Catherine, and as always, we'll be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career.
That is what we do every week here on the show, and this week's going to be no different.
Yeah.
But we've got a very special topic.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about it.
Should we tell people, or should we just keep the anticipation?
Ooh. No, we should tell. Let's let them know.
It's going to be about confidence in your vision, sticking with the vision that you set out, seeing it through. And as a business owner, it's really tough. A lot of times you're second guessing yourself. You have an idea, you have a vision, you have a plan. You get halfway through that plan. You kind of feel like sometimes it's not working.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get trapped into that cycle of trying something new. It gets really hard. It kind of feels like it's not working. They stop, they try something different, and they don't give it enough time.
Yeah.
There are times when you need to cut it, try something else, but I think there's too many people out there that just give up on something because they're not getting the results quick enough, and comes down to sticking to your vision.
Yeah.
So you got to stick with your vision and be confident.
Yeah. But before we get into it, we should talk about what we're drinking.
We certainly should, because it's a rainy Friday and
quite rainy.
I definitely need a little pick-me-up here.
Yep.
What'd you get?
These are called Dewy Crush. I don't know what you actually call them, because on the box it just says not a seltzer, but it doesn't tell you what it is. So I think it's just, it's got vodka, and mine has grapefruit and yours has orange. Okay,
well, let's check it out. I feel like maybe it's not carbonated.
I was just wondering that.
Cheers.
Cheers. Not carbonated.
Yeah, not carbonated. Pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Very refreshing. It says summer in a can. Feels like that.
I'd agree.
Definitely feels like that.
And it is cold and rainy here, so.
It is cold and rainy, so
nice.
We need a little taste of summer.
Yep.
So.
All right, so let's get into our confidence topic.
Yeah,
because I feel like we're at a point in our business,
yeah,
where we just have a lot on our plate for the upcoming months and year, and it's springtime now, and we work outside, so that really feels like a new. Like, it almost doesn't feel like the beginning of the year is a new year. It's like, this is the new year. Like, this spring is starting the new season.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of, big projects coming up, and
a
lot to look forward to, a lot going on.
And
we have a very distinct vision in what we want.
We do. And I think when things get crazy and busy and you have all of these things lined up, that's when it's easiest to kind of forget some of the things as part of your vision and just do what's easiest right now to get through all these projects, because we do have, I think, 7 more projects this year, really big ones.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them include stuff that are just taking everything to the next level. So it can be daunting going into the year knowing all of this stuff is ahead of us. All of them are going to take a long time. And then aside from that, we also have all of these other goals and visions, YouTube growth, social media growth, just all kinds of stuff. So I think it's really important to know what your vision is, and then not be afraid to stick with it, even when there is possibly an easier way out right now.
Yeah. And it's so hard to pick your vision, and then when something goes wrong, it feels like, especially when there's a lot of things going on, we have a ton of stuff going on, when something's not going perfectly, it's kind of hard to be okay, well, is it time to reevaluate what's going wrong? What's why is this thing not working out? Should I keep going with it? Or, and when we do analytics for any of our social medias, there's obviously dips and peaks, and sometimes you get a dip and you're like, well, what happened? I don't know. Do we pivot? Yeah. Are we doing something wrong? Should we keep doing what we were doing this whole time and see if it works out? So it's hard to know that balance of when to
pivot,
pull it back.
or when to just like push through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's really hard, especially when you're going through that, like that evaluation process by yourself. I think that when we're breaking down different things that are going on, whether it's something project related or content related, I think we're really good at like balancing each other out as far as like, this isn't working. Oh my God. Like, why didn't this video get, this many clicks or not enough views? And I might be like bugging out about that. Like, what do we do wrong? What do we need to change? And then you might be like, okay, like it could be a bunch of different things. Let's not jump to any conclusions and like switch everything up. Let's see it through.
Yeah.
Because when you do look at things through like a microscope, you're seeing all of these like little dips and bumps, but when you kind of like pan back, you see like the true trajectory of whatever your vision is, which ours has been going great. So we do want to continue to make like little tweaks to how we run the projects and making them more efficient, and also growing our content side and creating the videos. But you need to like kind of find that balance and find when is it time to do that and when is it time to just keep your head down and go through.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the same for financials as like analytics. You're going to have a great month and then you're going to have a crappy month, and you have to kind of know when to. And there's nothing wrong with like evaluating and pivoting, but you just need to make sure you're making that decision from a place of like full thoughtfulness, not just reactionary like oh no, I did something wrong, I have to pivot, I have to figure something else out. You need to like really have a plan. And like when you're creating these plans, that should be part of it. Like, what are my benchmarks for a change? What are my benchmarks for a pivot?
Yeah. Yeah, like almost planning that in, like knowing from the onset that there are going to be things that make it seem like it's not working and are going to make you want to quit. And it's the same with business or a personal goal that you have. There's always a point where it gets really tough and you have to like rely on just that determination and persistence that you had from the beginning, and just promise to yourself that you're going to keep with this until you see it through. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what we're doing with our personal goals as well.
Yeah.
We're staying confident with it because there are times where, it's like really hard to get in the mode to do our meditation or reading or exercise that day, but we're sticking with it.
Yeah.
We've done really well. We need to actually add up all of our gold stars from April.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't done that yet.
Yeah, we haven't done that.
Because that's going to be a benchmark.
Yeah.
For next month. So, yeah.
We do need to do that.
What do you think is like the biggest thing that we have to be mindful of this year? Because I would say like the biggest pressure on us right now is just the size and just amount of projects that we have ahead of us. And for me, it can get really easy to like get overwhelmed by everything that's laid out ahead of us, and like kind of look to ways to like rush through it, or not necessarily rush through it, but just get overwhelmed by that. Like, what do you think is going to be the hardest thing for us this year to like really stick with and be mindful about as things start to get crazy, which they kind of already are?
Yeah. I feel like it's so easy to get bogged down in like the very little things and make them feel overwhelming. Like we had this permit that was like lingering over our head for so long because there were changes and we needed the plans from the architect and they were taking a little bit longer, and then there was a change to the slab, and it just felt like there was so much back and forth. And to me, that process felt so overwhelming. And I was like, this is such a simple thing. Like, we need a permit for every job. This should be a simple thing. It shouldn't be taking up so much mental space. Yeah. And that's just one tiny area of all of the things that we do. So I feel like when we have all of these things laid out, we just need to keep in mind what should be taking up big mental energy and what shouldn't be taking up big mental energy, because we have these big goals and we have these big dreams for things, and we need to keep those in mind. And if we get bogged down in all the tiny things, we're never even going to think about those big things because we're so just
bogged down.
Yeah, we're just so bogged down with all the little things that are just run of the mill. A permit should be run of the mill.
it should just almost take care of itself, because you do kind of like, the more things that you have on your plate, whether they're simple, no matter how mundane they are, the more things that you can kind of like automate or have a system for, and you don't have to really think and make decisions about, the more it's going to free you up in other areas, because there's a thing called decision fatigue.
Yeah.
You make too many decisions, no matter what they are. Like if you spend all your time in the morning, like, all right, what am I going to have for breakfast today? Oh, I could have this. I could have that. I usually just eat like kind of the same thing all the time, especially when I'm in the mode of packing my lunches.
Yeah.
And I'm very particular about it. But it's just like one less thing that I have to like think about. It's like, all right, I pack all these things, and I kind of eat like a child would. String cheese and yogurt is always like mandatory. Carrots.
Yeah, carrots and hummus.
Yep. But it's just really one less thing that I have to think about.
Yeah.
And be like overwhelmed with, because there's so many other things to occupy my mental space right now.
Yeah.
That the more little things like that you can just like automate, it allows you to think about your bigger goals and kind of like see the direction that your ship is going.
Yeah. And also I just think
another sailing reference. We're doing a lot of those.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think also being mindful of like when things are out of your hand, because like with that permit example again, I was stressed about it, and it was like constantly thinking about like, we have this outstanding permit, we need to do something. But at a certain point, like it's like with the architect, there's nothing I can do when it's with the architect. I need to like set a date of when I can return to thinking about that, and until then I don't really need to think about it, because there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
So just be mindful of like what you're spending your mental energy on, because that was
It was
worked
really
out perfectly fine.
I know. It didn't hold us up one bit.
Not at all.
But it's just, I think when things like that are typically like pretty straightforward, like we work with the architect, they draw up the plans. Usually there's one or two revisions that we have to make with little details. He'll do those. He'll send them back. We say, okay, we submit it. It's good. This one had some different things with the slab. There's a lot of like new things that we're doing on this project, and we're trying like different applications for helical piles and all that stuff. So it got pretty complicated, and we had to deal with the architect, link the architect with the engineer from Goliath Tech on the helical piles, and they had to talk to each other about specifications. So it was just like so much, and I feel like we were both so worried about that holding us up when we were doing everything that we could to keep it going.
Yeah.
And then we got the plans, we submitted them, and we got the permit in time, and we're fine.
Yeah.
So all that time that we spent worrying about it, like, well, why? It didn't make us do anything faster. Like, it's not like I drove to the architect's house and I was like, give me those plans. Like, it was just for nothing.
Yeah.
And in the end, everything worked out completely fine.
Yeah. So I think going forward, that's a note.
Yeah.
Be mindful of what we can and cannot control.
Yeah. It reminds me of a quote. Can't remember who said it, but it is, I've endured some of the worst things you could possibly imagine, or something like that, most of which never actually happened. You spend all this time thinking about what could go wrong, what could be bad, and you get all this anxiety about it, and then most of the time, it works out fine. Like this permit, I was like, oh God, we're going to be delayed for 2 weeks waiting for the township to get back to us. Mm-hmm. Everything worked out fine, as it does 95% of the time.
Yeah.
So,
except I did get a ticket going to pick up that permit.
You did, but
but everything else worked out fine.
Yeah. Stay off that phone.
It was my GPS. I wasn't texting.
It was
I still
not,
got in trouble.
Was it like a Garmin?
It was the GPS on my phone.
Exactly.
And the problem wasn't that I was looking at the GPS, apparently. It was that it was a handheld device. That's what the ticket says.
Oh,
Use
okay.
of a handheld device.
And somebody else was saying, like, you can, because they're cracking down on it this month, you can get a ticket for, like, eating food while you're driving?
That apparently, it's like...
I always do that.
There's a big push for it.
What about, like, drinking something? I was thinking about that this morning. I was drinking water, and I was like, somebody said that you could get, like, a ticket for eating. What about drinking water? You're not allowed to drink water when you drive? This is getting ridiculous.
I'll let you know what the judge says, because I have a mandatory court date.
Yeah.
They're very serious about
Do you have representation? Do you want me to be your lawyer?
No, but speaking of that, I've gotten like 4 letters in the mail of like, we heard you got this ticket. we would like to represent you. I have no idea.
They're all in cahoots with each other. It's ridiculous.
It felt very creepy because it came it was mailed to my house in my name and it had like my ticket number and everything on it. And I was like, oh, geez, this is very big brothery.
Yep.
But
anywho,
don't get tickets.
Don't get tickets. And when you do, don't spend that much time thinking about it because there's nothing you can do about it. Hopefully they don't throw the book at you and you're like locked up.
What if I like lose my license?
Yeah. I guess we would have to carpool.
Yeah.
Or van pool.
That would be interesting.
Well, with the price of gas, you'd make out like a bandit with this whole thing. You're probably just going to lie now and be like,
save a bunch of money.
Lost my license. I need a ride to work every day. It is getting expensive.
It is.
It is.
It actually is.
I
don't mean to downplay it because we have downplayed it before.
Yeah.
It is actually quite expensive. It took my like little SUV took like 65. My tiny little thing took $65 to fill up, which I was like,
I spent $100 yesterday. Got 3/4 of a tank.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I think the van has been the same way. Because the other time I filled it up, I said fill it up. And in New Jersey, we don't have to pump our own gas. So if you're not listening from New Jersey, then I like tell another person to fill it up. And they say, okay, I'll fill it up. He charged the card. It stopped at 100. And I was like, 100? Amazing.
Right on the dot.
Yeah, it was not. No. It just stops at 100.
They stop, yeah.
And then you only get like 3/4 of a tank. So.
Yep. But hey, that's the world we live in. And let's just be thankful for that gas we do have because dinosaurs died for it. So keep that in mind.
Yep.
Thanks, dinos, for making that gas.
All right. Well, what about you?
Oh, okay.
You asked me for this upcoming year.
Yeah.
What about you?
What's the thing that we need to focus on the most?
Yeah, just like what's going to keep you on track? What like knocks you off track?
Okay.
What's going to keep you on track?
And then how do I rebound?
To stay confidently moving towards your goals.
I think the thing that knocks me off track the most is like overanalyzing things.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about everything that we're doing. And I want to be successful in it. I want everything to, I want to achieve my goals. I want to do these things. And a lot of the goals that we have, creating a following on YouTube and getting more content out there. A lot of it, it's not like I want to run 5 miles every day. Like, that's up to me. I could do that or not. I don't want to do that. But this is you have to come up with a vision. You have to come up with a plan. It might not work. You have to adjust. And I think I can get bogged down in the little details of that. Yeah. And then I think you start focusing on the wrong things, and you really need to be able to step back when things maybe aren't going so well. You have a downturn in business, or we're getting less views on YouTube, or whatever it is. I think those times you need to be able to step back, reevaluate, and really just look at the core of the issue. What is it that you're trying to do? What is it that you're trying to achieve? I get bogged down the most with the analytics on Instagram or just in social media in general.
Yeah.
And then I start thinking about all these different ways that we can tweak things and change things and different thumbnails. But then I always come back to reminding myself that we just need to connect with the audience. Our main goal with this is really to just what we want to do with the content is encourage people to follow their dreams, that they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
That they can do anything they set their mind to, because that's what I believe. And I always say it if I can be steering this ship, doing what we're doing, anybody can do anything they set their mind to, because I have a lot of weaknesses. I have a ton of weaknesses.
I don't know if you've talked about that before on the podcast.
I don't know if I've mentioned my weaknesses. But yeah, I think, I have to just continually remind myself that it's about being myself. It's about being authentic. It's about just staying true to all the things that I set out to do in the beginning, which is always push myself to do cooler designs.
Yeah.
That's something that's really tough to do when projects are taking longer or whatever. It's easy to just say, okay, well, like in the rendering, there wasn't like all these little details in it. We don't have to do that. The client's not even expecting it, but I always put that on myself. Like, I want to do the coolest thing that we possibly can.
Yeah.
Like our current project, the homeowner is like thrilled with this much simpler version of the paver design, but I don't think it's quite as good. So like I'm like trying everything I can to get the opportunity to do something that's going to take a lot longer, be a lot harder. But to me, that's like really important. I really think that there's elements that could be a lot better, and I want to put out the best product possible. I want to push myself as a designer. Like, those are the core things that I don't want to compromise on. So yeah, that's probably it for me.
I kind of like the way that you phrase that, because it's kind of like, even if you're not setting, like, which everyone should have goals, and that's good, but like, even like as a non-specific goal, just having growth as your goal. Like, no matter whatever way we decide to sail this ship, growth is always the goal. Yeah. And maybe that's just what you keep in mind. Like,
and you can sail a ship anywhere you want, except for in irons.
I cannot believe that you remembered that term. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's like 11-1 on the clock. You can't sail directly into the wind, but you can sail around the wind.
You were listening. I'm really impressed.
I'm fascinated by sailboats because, like, I don't know, it just seems really complicated. You basically have like a sheet up in the air, and you have to like catch the wind to make you go where you want to go, and I don't know. It seems extremely complicated. So
it's not. But this, well, it is. I don't mean to downplay it. It's complicated, but once you get used to it, it's fine. It's just like driving a car. But maybe we should do an on-location podcast of you learning how to sail, and the podcast can be about learning new skills.
I feel like that could go so south. Like, Kyler, what do you think about these goals? Boom. Actual boom hits me in the head, and I'm gone. I'm overboard. I'm knocked out. You can't find me.
No. I'd be a good teacher. I wouldn't let that happen to you.
All right, well, that's we'll put that on the maybe. We'll put that on the maybe list for future episodes. But I totally got sidetracked with that sailing talk. What exactly? I was just proud of myself that I remembered something.
I am actually super proud that I just mentioned that to you yesterday, that was the term for that, and you.
Yeah, in irons.
You put that in your memory bank.
Yeah,
pretty good. We were talking about growth as the goal, but another thing that I wanted to circle back to was you were talking about how you can decide that you are going to run 5 miles, and that's like wholly on you. Yeah. But when you run a business, you're pretty reliant on your whole team.
It's true.
So part of like confidently going in a direction with a business is selling your team on this vision that you have. Yeah. So how did you do that? How did you? Because all of us are hook, line, and sinker. We're in it. We're all in the vision.
That's good to hear. I hope so.
I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm like, I'm here.
You're in.
I'm here for the vision.
All right. Well, that's wow. No pressure.
I'm pretty confident in saying that everyone else is too. So
okay.
So how do how did you make that happen?
I think that I set out with a particular vision in the beginning, and I think it's, people see the results. They see, especially when you're doing something that's maybe a little bit unorthodox, like you're not going about something the same exact way that other people are. Mm-hmm. You're pursuing different opportunities. You're building your business in a different way. I think the more unorthodox it is, and the more that it ends up working out, the more people kind of buy in. So, it's not something that happens overnight. And I think you have to, like, your team has to doubt you a lot of times along the way, and then see that it kind of like comes together and, hey, this actually did work out. Good job, boss man. Then it's like you start to gain trust, and and I also think that it's kind of like a culture thing. Like, I hope that everyone feels like I want to build this business to provide opportunities to everybody. Like, I'm not in this to like get rich and, and then fire everybody and move to Hawaii. Like, really feel like we're all in this together. Like, if you are a part of this team, I'm going to do like everything I can to like give you opportunities for advancement. And like, we're all building this together, and I can't do it without anybody else. So I hope that kind of like comes through.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope so.
I mean, I fell for it. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And also just like right before we left today, everybody had left the job site. Tony was still there. I was like, unhooking the trailer and leaving. And I just stopped by his truck and I said, "Thank you, Tony. I really appreciate you being part of this team. We couldn't do it without you." And, I try to do stuff like that from time to time. And I probably do that like every day, actually.
If anybody feels appreciated, it's Tony.
I hope so.
We thank him a lot.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of thanks.
But, I think some people have the mentality that like they're the boss and everybody that's working there should just be thankful to have a job. But people can get a job anywhere, especially people that are like highly skilled, that are good, like just good people.
Yeah.
Like, you can get a job anywhere. You already had a good job. Now you work here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really thankful for that. Anthony had a job. Like, nobody came to this company like not having a job or like desperate for my help. Like, they wanted to come here. They already had something stable and they decided, hey, I want to do this instead. So
yeah,
I try to keep that in perspective and like just be thankful for that.
Yeah. I know we talked about this a lot with our getting and retaining employees episode, so I don't want to go too much into that again, but I feel like it's so important that people like really buy into the vision too, because that makes it, you're like, if you're trying to confidently go in this direction and you just have these like weights of employees that are just kind of there for a paycheck and like just dragging you down every day, like that makes a huge difference. So if you get people to really lift you up and maybe bounce ideas off of, and that creates a really healthy environment, and you should surround yourself with people who want the best for your business.
I absolutely agree. And I think that is 100% true, because like I said, sometimes with like we're sitting there doing like analytics on how the last YouTube video performed, and I think we both have like kind of the same goal with it. Like we both want it to grow. Like we're both, kind of dedicated to the same vision as far as that goes. So we kind of balance each other out with keeping each other like kind of grounded and set in the right direction of where we're going, because as soon as you let like emotion play into it too much, that's what like derails you.
Yeah.
So you need to have the rest of your team believing in that vision, because they're going to help you stay on track. Yeah. As a leader or as the owner, you're not always going to have that like 100% confidence that this is where we need to go. I'm 100% sure. But in those little bits of times where like you feel not so confident, like you or Aunt or somebody will like reassure me, like, we're on the right path.
Yeah.
So I think it's like it goes both ways. And as long as everybody's on the same team and everybody's like looking out for each other, I think we're on a good path.
Yeah.
Nothing that we can't achieve.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's really hard to go at it alone if you're the only person that you're like, if you're not seeking outside counsel, you're just kind of relying on what you know and going at things alone. You do get in those emotional states where like, okay, that was wrong. I'm such an idiot. I'm so dumb. And now I got to like pivot and change everything. But like if you have someone to kind of talk you off those emotional peaks, because I think both of us go through that. We're like, oh no, this is terrible. What did we do? And then the other one's like, okay, well, relax. It's fine. Yep. And then we, you have somebody to balance each other out. I think that's important because
and when you're like working so closely with somebody inside of an automobile, you can really sense those stresses in the other person, and you can say, it's okay, like it's fine, we're gonna figure this out, we're on the right track. Like I think you can so easily lose track of all the things that are going really well and just focus on those few things that aren't going super well. And if you don't get back on track with just sticking to your vision and getting back on the proverbial horse, then that's no good.
Yeah.
You need somebody there to, somebody on the team to, kind of look out for you,
Yeah.
Everybody's in it together. We're all pursuing the same goal. We all want growth, and we'll get there.
Of course we'll get there.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right. So maybe something that, since we exist in a very social media based environment,
yeah,
and we get a lot of hater comments, do you find it to be hard to like stay confident in your vision when like yesterday we posted a video and someone just ripped us to shreds about
as they normally do.
Which I think that their opinion was wrong and stupid, but
yeah. No.
But I feel like even like these are just random haters on the internet, but even people in real life, there are people who are like, well, why are you doing it that way? Or especially when we're diving so heavy into social media and other people are kind of like, well, I don't understand why you're doing that. Why does that work?
Yeah.
You're on the internet. I don't get it.
Do you feel like a very specific persona that you were just that accent?
Was it?
Yeah. Is that like a disgruntled aunt? Like what exactly was that?
Yeah.
What is that? Facebook? Does that still around?
The
internet. Yeah, I think that is a gift of mine. It's one of my innate skills. Is that does not bother me at all. Yeah. Like just like random internet haters, I'm just like, okay, like I literally don't care at all because I don't have the mentality that like I'm the best there is, that I'm just like me out here trying to do my thing. I'm trying to get better. Yeah. So I'm not coming from a place like I am the absolute best. I know everything. Nobody can tell me anything. So it's like, hey, okay, you don't like it? I still think it's cool. I'm proud of myself. So like, okay.
Yeah. Well, what about when it's not a random hater on the internet? What if it's like someone close, like let's say, I'm going to use your mom as an example. Your mom is a lovely woman, and I'm sure she supports you in everything that you do. I'm just saying like a figurative mom. What if they were like, you're taking all these risks. Maybe you shouldn't.
I don't know. I think I'm just like, I hate people telling me what to do. I always have. Like, I always want to do things my way.
Totally the same.
Like, so I really hate when like somebody gives me really good advice and I just want to not follow it just for the sake of going against it. I
can't follow that good advice.
And that was kind of like my dad did that a lot, like when I started out, because he owned a construction company.
Yeah.
I worked for him for like a couple months. That didn't work out, but and the whole time he was just trying to look out for me. Like he wasn't trying to be malicious or like kill my dreams, but he was speaking from his experience, and he didn't like understand the vision. I mean, he still doesn't really know how to work a computer too well. So, he just didn't see what I saw exactly, and it wasn't malicious. Like he was trying to look out for me. Like, hey, I want you to, if you're going to go into this industry, I want you to do better than I did. So he was giving advice from that perspective, which I'm thankful for. But at the same time, I was really steadfast in my belief in this vision. Mm-hmm. I had a very clear picture of where I wanted to go in the short term, like in 2-3 years. And I had the plan to get there. And I wasn't going to let anybody tell me that it wasn't going to work, because I really believed in it. And the biggest thing that helped me was I was solely dedicated to the vision at that point. I wasn't chasing the profit or anything else. I was just set on the vision.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it maybe a little bit more difficult now, because I'm more established. We've been in business for, this is like our 7th year. Mm-hmm. It was almost 10 years. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But now I have more responsibility in my personal life, like all that stuff. So like, I can't just 100% be dedicated to the vision and not worry about making money. So it's like, it's finding that balance. And that's one of the reasons, like, I live in a cheap house. My truck's paid off. Like, I don't have debt. Like, because I want to have that freedom to stick to the vision, number one, and not like be a slave to all of my responsibilities.
Yeah. That makes total sense. And I think when it comes to any type any type of criticism, you just have to kind of take it with a grain of salt as to where it's coming from, because
is that where we started this with the hater thing?
Yeah.
I just went like such a tangent, and did. I don't know where.
I was trying to circle back to that, but
okay.
I think when it comes from your dad, you can be pretty safe to say he just wants what's best for you.
Yeah.
When it comes from an internet troll, it might come from a place of deep-seated self-hatred or something with these crazy comments that we get.
Yeah. I think probably so like today, somebody commented on a post, like we just finished this project and 99% done, posted some pictures of it. It's really cool. I like it. I think that we all did a great job on it. And then really somebody commented on it like, this sucks. You're such a hack. Like there's not even any curves.
Yeah.
And it was this guy, Isaac. And I'm like, I know this guy. He's so nice. Like this is such a nice man. And I was like, he has to be being sarcastic. Yeah. And then a couple of minutes later, he dropped the wink in the reply. And stuff like that, like where it's somebody that like I've met in person. I'm like, that person, they're just such a nice person.
Yeah. And
if they were really that, then I would be like, I mean, I don't know if I'd really care that much, but it would just be like, oh no, it's so sad. But I knew deep. I was like, this, either he got hacked, because he would never say this about it. Even if he did hate it, he would never say it. He's such a nice man.
In such a mean way.
Yeah. But I think he was just trying to sneak his way into the hater comments of the week.
Oh, maybe Instagram. That was it. Yeah, that might have been it.
So Isaac, if you're, you got me for like a second. I need to send him a message.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So,
but
how about you? Are you?
I love hater comments.
I know you love, because most of the time they're not directed at you. So like, what's not to love about ones that aren't directed at you?
I just think I get mad when they're not creative. That's it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna say something ridiculous, at least make it creative. Don't just be lazy. But anyway, sorry.
You are like starting to. You previously you were sort of like a ghost on social media. Yeah. When you were in the corporate world.
Yes.
Yeah. You were just a lurker. You were a shadow.
I was a shadow, yes.
But now you are becoming a full-fledged person on social media.
Yeah.
Have you encountered any haters yet on your personal page?
No. I've got like 500 followers. I have not.
Yeah.
But we've definitely gotten some, like, any of the hater comments that I have personally received are just like, it's like sheerly because I'm a woman. It wasn't really anything directed like at me specifically.
Yeah.
So I didn't really, I wouldn't take offense to anything anyway, but like that, it's just like, that's just lazy and dumb. Like the only thing you know about me is that I'm a woman and that's what you're picking on. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But like when it comes down to it, people on the internet, those are not the people that I'm going to for advice or when I'm sad or like when something good in my life happens. Those aren't the people that I'm going to. So why would I care about their opinion at all? Ever.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
So that's kind of how I look about like in my life I didn't know what I wanted to do and I just kind of fell into that corporate world that I had and my parents were always like, get that corporate job, get that 401k, get that health insurance, like that will mean that you're taken care of for life. And all they wanted was the best for me in life. So that was their version of what was best. My dad was a small business owner and he knew how hard that was. And my mom was a teacher and she knew that she loved kids, but like that's not actually like the most lucrative career.
Yeah.
So they did that. And then as soon as Sean offered me this job, they were like, oh my God, do it. They were like,
really?
They knew you and they love you and they see what you've done and they're like very proud of you. Nice. So they were like, oh, do it. And like in my life, all I wanted to do was take all these risks. I was like, I'm going to move to LA and I'm going to be a singer or I'm going to quit my job and be an artist with like no actual path. So that was probably like solid advice at the time.
Maybe
but like when a good opportunity came along, they were like, oh my gosh, do it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like like at first I was like, oh my gosh, they're just hating on me. They just want me to go live this corporate boring life.
Yeah.
Which I did. Was.
Maybe they looked at it like you were, you know, you wanted to like do all these like take risks with your life path or whatever. So they wanted security for you. And then maybe like they were kind of like, all right, we're gonna push her into this, but she's probably not gonna do it because she's just gonna kind of do what she wants.
Yeah.
And then maybe once you got into the corporate, they were like, look at that, she set her mind to do something that we know she doesn't even like. So now we are fully confident she can do whatever she sets her mind to.
Yeah.
So you pass that test, and now you can work in a van, and we'll support you. So that's nice.
Yeah. No, I was a bit of a wild card, so
yeah.
I think they were just like, please just don't fail.
Yeah.
And then I didn't, and they were like, okay.
Now you can do whatever.
Yeah.
And we'll support you. Yeah.
No, I don't remember where I started talking about that, but... my haters. So I was like, my parents at first I thought were haters, but now they're not. Like I realized they weren't being haters.
I think everyone
and like
thinks
those
that.
are the people that I would go to for like life advice, is my parents or like my loved ones.
Yeah.
So if they have something to say about like where I should confidently go, I'm gonna listen. But like haters on the internet, sorry, don't know you, don't care.
Okay. Well, Catherine, I think you can't do anything because you're a woman with a tiny brain. So.
Oh yeah. True.
Just kidding. Obviously, Catherine, you can do anything that you set your mind to, just like any of us and any of you out there. So think big.
Yeah.
Think big.
I love thinking big.
Where do we go from here? What's next?
Well, all right. So we discussed like external haters. What about like internal haters when you are your number
Those
one
voices
hater?
inside my head. Oh God. I didn't want to talk about that. I'm cracking the next flavor here. The ruby red grapefruit dewy crush. The orange was really good. We got to start getting sponsored by these people. I mean, it's great. We got the cans
dewy crush.
Yeah.
You want in?
Ooh,
orange is great.
Yeah.
Very good.
Initial thought on the grapefruit? Don't love it.
No?
But we'll see if it grows on me. I don't know.
Give it a chance.
The one thing I do kind of respect about it, it tastes like an actual grapefruit.
It does, yeah.
Like a lot of things are grapefruit flavored, taste nothing like grapefruit because grapefruit tastes terrible. Grapefruit's like the worst.
You think?
It's horrible.
I love grapefruit.
It's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a bitter, like orange or something. I don't know. It just like is not good.
I love grapefruit. I used to eat grapefruit as like my breakfast. I love it.
No, thank you.
Anywho, all right, back to your internal haters.
Internal haters.
It's easy to get bogged down with negative self-talk, and I think we all have those moments where it's like, ooh,
we definitely
ruined
do
everything in my whole life. This whole time I've just been garbage person.
Yep. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I think a lot of times I'm just like I'm very passionate, very extreme one way or the other. So like I'll go through periods where I'm like, absolutely, I can run through a wall. I can accomplish absolutely anything. And then I'll go through other times where I'm just like, everything's so overwhelming. There's so much responsibility. There's all these bills and insurance and endless cycle of pain. But I think
that's dark.
It's not that serious, but
of pain.
Just like feelings of like being overwhelmed and there's just a lot going on. You know, there's a lot of responsibility on my plate. There is, between payroll and insurance, it's like $10,000 a week. It's like $2,000 a day, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
And, sometimes you can get like bogged down in that. But I always remind myself, like, I think I'm aware enough about how I am that like those feelings pass.
Yeah.
It's a very temporary thing that I feel like. I just know sometimes like, okay, today I'm just like, I'm in a bit of a funk. I'm feeling overwhelmed by, whatever it is, if we have a lot of stuff going on, I have 10 different things to do, or we're starting a new job, or we're finishing a job. Those are times usually when like I get kind of stressed out and overwhelmed. So
yeah,
I just try to be mindful of that. And I know that just from experience and from going through that it's going to turn around.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be back to running through walls in no time.
I think that's a good point. Just that's always so helpful to me when I'm in a funk. I'm like, I know that this feeling is temporary. Mm-hmm. And another thing, I got to say, meditation has really helped me.
I was just going to say that as well.
So much.
Yeah.
It really helps.
You can just be an observer to your experience. You know?
I don't know if I
understand what I'm saying?
Well, that doesn't sound like good. Like you want to be a participant in your own life.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Well, not when you're meditating.
Well, yeah.
So your thoughts are kind of like a river.
Mm-hmm.
You can get carried away in your thoughts. You get carried away in the river. You want to be
back to boating metaphors? I love this.
Pretty much, yeah. There are a lot of metaphors that go back to boating. So you want to be on the riverbank just observing your thoughts. That's the whole thing with meditation. People think that you should shut your mind off, and they're like, I can't shut my mind off. It's not about shutting your mind off. It's just about being aware of where it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, where's it going? I don't know. But it's very helpful to me because I have racing thoughts.
Oh my gosh, me too. It is so helpful.
Yeah.
And I used to get really down on myself because I was like, I suck at meditation. I'm so bad at it.
Yeah.
What is it like to have a clear brain? Because I have no idea. But then I learned.
Yeah.
It's just practice.
It is just practice. And every time that you get away from thinking about your breath or whatever you're concentrating on, you got to look at it as that's not a failure. It's just another opportunity. Each time you realize that, you bring yourself, it's all about just bringing yourself back to your breath or a mantra or whatever it is. So
yeah,
you're just getting more opportunities to bring yourself, you're getting extra practice.
I know. When you told me,
lucky you.
I said this to you the other day, and that's what you told me. And I was like, oh, that's actually a really nice way to think of it.
Yeah.
I'm just really practiced.
Yeah. And that's a good metaphor for life. It was just something that I said, that somebody said to me or I read before, that changed my perspective. It changed your whole outlook on something. So
yeah,
think about how important perspective is.
Very true.
Very true.
Perspective is so important.
It's so important because it's just, it's just little.
Pretty much everything.
It's everything. That's what I was going for. Perspective is key. So, you got anything else for us? Because
I don't.
I was going to get into the new segment that we're doing.
Oh,
the secret question.
The secret question.
Did you prepare one? It doesn't have to be. So this is going to be a new segment.
Yeah,
that
let's
we do.
Explain the segment.
Yeah,
first.
it doesn't have to be something that's related to what we're talking about that week. It's just a question that we have not prepped each other for, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I do have a question.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, you first.
Okay. My
I'm
question.
boss.
It was.
You have to follow my orders. Okay, go ahead.
It's kind of related to the topic.
Okay.
But I know, like, we've talked so much about how, like, you always say you don't have any hobbies, and like all you do is work.
Yep.
So outside of work.
Yeah.
What makes you feel the most confident? Where do you find your confidence when it's not related to work?
Wow, that's a good question. It's deep. Oh my God.
I was hoping to get
not
deep.
Related to work, like at all?
Yeah, like I know that you work incredibly hard, and like most of your world revolves around work. So like when it's unrelated to work, what makes you feel confident?
I would say it's probably my son Max. Like something about
You're a confident dad?
I think so, yeah.
Aww.
Like I feel like when he was born, I was like really scared to be a dad because it's just like so much responsibility, and I feel like I'm a little kid myself. So I was like, I can't handle this responsibility. But something about when he was born, I just felt like when I held him that like I knew how to comfort him. I knew how to like calm him down, and I feel really confident in that. That like I don't get overwhelmed like when he screams and cries. Like I'm very good at like staying calm and just like being consistent and like, you know, just comforting him. So yeah, I would say that.
That's interesting. An unexpected confidence. Like you didn't think that you would be confident, but then you.
No, I didn't know what to like
became confident
expect. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I think you can probably attest to the fact that a lot of things that I do are very childlike. I have a very childlike zest for life, I guess you could say.
I guess so.
I eat a lot of string cheese. Kids love string cheese.
You like your Paw Patrol?
Yeah, that kind's really good. I like that. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just like it's scary to go from like not having a actual human that relies on you for their life to now that is the case. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like they don't know how they're gonna like react to that. I definitely didn't. I was like scared. So yeah, but then like when he was born, I don't know. It just felt like it just felt like I knew how to comfort him. Oh, so
that's a great answer.
Yeah,
Very
it made
nice.
me feel so sentimental, bringing up all these good feelings. So, Max, hope you're listening.
Yeah, Max, where you at?
You're only 14 months old, so probably not. He's almost ready for bed, probably. All right, time for, or should we do?
Are you not going to ask me a question?
Well, no. Should I ask you the question that you asked me? Like, do you have to answer your own question? And then I'll ask you my question?
No, I thought you were going to have a question
I do have a separate question.
Should I?
So then we both answer both questions.
This is our podcast. We can decide.
Oh, we can do whatever we want?
We can do whatever we want.
I'm the boss? Okay.
Yeah, you pick.
All right, well, you have to answer your own question now. What makes you feel the most confident in your, like, not related to work?
Unrelated to work.
Yeah. It's got to be good because mine was pretty good.
Yeah, yours was pretty good and deep and thoughtful. Yeah. I was not thinking of a personal answer for this question. I would say in my never-ending search for curiosity. Like I always say I have all these hobbies, and I was always so sad that I never got like I would say I'm a person who's not known for one thing. I'm known for like a bunch of things. Like I'll sing or I'll paint or like I've just had 1,000 hobbies, but I've learned that like I don't have a hobby. My hobby is to have hobbies. It is to learn different skills.
Yeah.
And I think I am confident in that. Like I like that about myself, that I will just constantly I like to learn new things. I never want to stop learning. I never want to stop growing, and maybe one day I'll take up like windsurfing and I'll get great at it or something. But like I think that I'm very confident in my search for knowledge, in my curiosity. I think that's what I would say.
That's really deep as well. A lot of people can be like intimidated by trying new things, or I think what it is, people are like afraid to be bad at something.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's kind of time to bring it to people's attention.
What?
That I might have found a hobby.
You're confident in announcing this? This is
I think
exciting.
I am, yeah. I got an electric drum kit. I played guitar growing up. I had a drum kit for a little bit, but I love the drums. Mm-hmm. I think they're awesome. Am I good at the drums?
Really are.
Nope. Not at all. I pretty much suck at them, but I can play a couple beats that are pretty tight, but like that's it. But I've just been having so much fun.
Yeah.
Been playing for like the last week. Got it set up in the dojo. Do it in between sets of working out.
Yep.
I might have a hobby. I
think once you get over that like fear of not being good at something initially, and you're just like in it to learn it, that's such like a freeing, wonderful feeling. You're just like, okay, this is all new to me, and I'm learning it, and that's great.
And I don't really care that much about getting. I don't know. I kind of do want to get like super sick at the drums, but it's just fun, and I'm not like I don't care that I suck at it right now because I'm just having fun with it. So
and you're just learning.
And I'm just learning.
And I think you have a great mentality about it. Like you said, not to tell your story, but you said that you like, it's all set up in your dojo workspace, workout area. So then you'll like work out, go play drums, go back to working out. That sounds like a great.
It is. It has been really nice. So, great answer. Love that.
You as well.
What do you think is the next skill, hobby thing that you'll take up?
I'm not sure. I haven't found it.
TBD.
Let me know. If you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out. I love anything. I love learning any new skill.
I guess that is work related, but you just started taking up editing, video editing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And I was kind of micromanaging a little bit at the beginning because I like to feel like I'm important.
Yeah.
And I'm needed, but you picked it up like so fast.
Thank you.
You got like the Ken Burns action going on with the Zoom, and it was so.
Actually, that's probably it. Like photo editing and video editing, I think will probably be my next.
That's
probably going to take up a good bit of space. Yeah.
We might get a new camera. So stay tuned for that.
Yep.
All right. My question for you.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me a time that you were doubting yourself. You had a vision for where you wanted to go. You were really doubting yourself, but you ended up doing it anyway. And it worked out, or maybe it didn't work out. I don't know. Just what's an example of that?
Oh gosh. Are we talking personal or professional?
It's your podcast. You tell me. I don't know. Whatever. Either one.
Oh gosh.
This is a good one, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. And I have a very deep answer, but I don't know if it's like too personal and people are gonna be like, oh, it's gross.
That's where we're going with it.
Okay. So I used to live in California, and I worked out in California, and I was in a relationship, and that's where I thought my life trajectory was going to go. And then I decided that I was not happy with that anymore, and I didn't know what was next for me. I'm from New Jersey. So is Sean. We went to the same high school. So I moved out to California. I was out there doing my thing. I was working in commercial real estate as I was building this career. And I just decided ultimately that I was not happy in my own life. So all of a sudden, kind of, I mean, it wasn't all of a sudden, but like
pretty much
kind of all of a sudden,
yeah,
I decided to change everything. And I decided to leave everything that was in California and come home and basically start from scratch. I had nothing. I had no money. I had my dear sweet parents were like, you can live with us for 3 months and then that is it. You have a hard stop and then you have to figure it out on your own. And I was 28 at the time. And that was like terrifying because literally everything was new. Everything in my life. I had to uproot literally everything. And it was the best decision I've ever made. And it was nice. Not only was it scary at the time, but I changed absolutely everything. And I knew that things weren't good in my life and I wanted to change everything. And because I changed everything, absolutely everything in my life got better. And it was like the best decision I've ever made.
Wow. Yeah, that was too personal.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. That is what we're here for, to share our experiences.
Yeah.
And I mean, that obviously, I mean, that's not only a big life change, it's a big geographic change. It's like, not only like a mental shift, it's like a thousands of miles moving stuff shift. So,
yeah. But because I did that, then it like up until that point in my life, I'd played everything safe, very safe. And then after that, and I realized, oh, I can do this. Then like other big life shifts were not scary. Like when I left commercial real estate and came and worked in the construction industry, like that was like a natural progression. I was just like,
yeah,
oh, this should be scary. Not scary at all. This
isn't even close to scary. I moved across the country.
Let's make this major life shift.
In my late 20s, when everyone else had all these expectations of me, and I was just starting over.
No thanks. I will carve my own path.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that's a good answer. That's very.
Thanks.
I feel like we're getting very deep in this episode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. What's yours?
Oh,
you got to answer it. Yeah. When were you nervous about a decision and then went for it?
I don't know. I didn't prepare an answer for this. Even though I prepared the part where we both answer each other's questions. I didn't really think about me answering my own question. Honestly, I really can't think of anything that, I don't know. I'm very like impulsive. Like once like the switch flips in my head and I'm just like, nah, I'm done with that. Like, I don't think I hang on to things and like dwell on it too much. Like I would say the biggest thing was like when I had built somewhat of a business doing lawn care and landscaping. But like once I did like a full backyard project and got to experience that creativity, like something flipped in my brain. It was just like, not only like, it wasn't about like making a decision, okay, should I switch this? It was just like, I can't do that anymore. Like I cannot bring myself to do that one more day. Like,
yeah,
it has to end right now. So
a real scorched earth situation.
Yeah, like I just feel like when I feel like that strongly about something, it's not that I don't have reservations about moving forward in that direction. It's more that I just can't do that other thing anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't cut lawns and do landscaping. Like I cannot bring myself to do it one more day. Like that is the old me that is behind me, that's in my past. I have to move forward. Yeah. And I think that's like always been my mentality. Like once I'm done with something, it's like kind of like I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm moving on to the next thing and I can't bring myself to do that other thing anymore. So yeah, I don't know if that really answered the question, but I think that's like how I approach like those like big life changes. Like when I went into doing decks and patios, and there's been like a couple points in my life where I've kind of like stopped this thing, done the next thing, but I don't know. I'm a very extreme person, so it's I don't know. That's always how I've always approached those type of decisions. Yeah.
I feel like the life advice that I always give people, because now I'm a seasoned pro at like just giving up old lives. You just have to know that in your life, you've gotten this far making decisions and you have made good decisions this far in your life. Maybe you've made some bad ones, but like everything in your life has worked out to where you are now. And you can quantify yourself as a good decision maker. And just think of that.
I mean, some people can't.
Well, okay, really some people aren't, but they're probably not listening to a self-help podcast about like
most people we know, they've like, gotten to a good place.
You need to be confident. That's true.
Bad things.
That's true. I wonder what our prisons analytics are.
Oh, there's a lot of people listening. Yeah.
But I think like everyone, you just need to make a decision like, okay, this thing that I'm about to do is really scary and I don't know what's going to be what's next, but you have to know within yourself that like, I've gotten myself through other hard decisions and hard times and I've made the best of it. So I'm going to keep doing that. That's who you are as a person. Just know, be like, okay, I've made that hard decision. I've made a hard decision and I'll figure out what's next. It's going to be hard and it's going to be an uphill battle, but I'll figure out what's next.
Yeah.
That's always how I've treated myself. Like, this thing is scary. I don't know what's on the other end of this, but I trust myself to know I'm going to figure it out either way. I have yet to be like homeless, living on the streets or whatever. Like I've always figured it out.
You have a good enough network where like, you know, maybe like everybody doesn't like your parents were like, you got to find your place to live.
No,
but like,
they were
if you
hardcore, were like you got to get out.
If you were like living in your, like under a bridge, they'd be like, all right, Catherine, come back home. Like,
I don't know.
We were just trying to do this as.
They were like hard stop at 3 months.
So yeah, I think that's a really good perspective to have. Like, just give yourself a pat on the back for like, no matter who you are, you've done hard things to get to where you are.
You've made it this far.
Yeah, you've made it this far. You're going to keep going and, you know, give yourself a little credit for what you've been through so far, what you've accomplished, and have some faith in yourself that you can get to that next stage.
Yeah. So you will you might not know what's good right now, but you'll figure it out. You will figure it out.
Follow your gut. Don't think about the repercussions at all. Just go for it. Figure it out later. And you'll be good to go. I don't know if you should follow that advice exactly, but
like that.
hopefully, I think this was an important topic to touch on.
I think we all have a lot to learn in the area of confidence, and
and in business and in life, you live and die by the vision. At least I do. So
yeah, you should.
Yeah. Hopefully, you got something out of this. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like this was just like, maybe we just got something out of this. We just got so deep.
I know.
But anyway, hope you liked it. We'll have another just absolutely riveting topic for you next week. Until then, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.